What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent week so far. It is, unfortunately, in fact, a red day. In the markets, we do have Bitcoin sitting below $33,000. Now, we had the Bitcoin conference in Miami. We also have Latin American leaders showing their support for Bitcoin as well. However, it seems like no matter what good news or events are coming out, the Bitcoin and altcoin prices cannot seem to keep up. So I do think we are long overdue for an update video. So that is why I want to talk about what is happening right now, because we haven't quite put in exactly a lower low just yet. But you can see right here, Bitcoin has been trending lower, putting in lower highs, and potentially looking to put in another lower low. So I want to discuss what is happening, why we're seeing these price dumps on the Elon tweets. Is that really why the price is dumping? Lots of people asking me about whether or not we are in a bear market. That's a good question, and I do want to go over that today. I want to talk about what we can expect moving forward, what I'm doing specifically in these markets right now, and I think that there is also room for some overall commentary. So in today's video, what I want to talk about is what is going on in the Bitcoin price, what we can expect. Are we in a bear market? I want to go over the good news. I want to go over the bad news. I want to let you know what I'm doing specifically. And if you're wondering what is up with my voice, well, it was very loud at the conference. There was a lot of shouting, trying to yell over people. It was like 15,000 people, in the venue. I think they said over 50,000 were there total. It had some good moments. It had some cringeworthy moments. But at the end of the day, guys, we know that, if you look at the charts, you can often figure out what is going on for the news. Now, there is a lot of fundamentals happening for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. There are some amazing innovations happening, but it is not being reflected in the prices. So are we being manipulated? What can we expect? Well, that is what I want to focus on in today's video. If you've been a long-term subscriber, you probably already know what's going on. But if you are new to the channel, you definitely want to stick around all the way to the end. We have lots of content, more than an overdue video. Thank you for coming back, my friends. I do love you. Without further ado, let's start as usual with the charts for what they're worth at this point. Now you can see right here, obviously, a lot of people were drawing this triangle. We fell out of the triangle pattern. In fact, if we look at the Heiken Ashi, you can see that we did have these candle bodies at the bottom right here. It was acting a little bit as our support, but we did break. So are we looking to fall lower? Well, we have seen the money flow go into the red on a lot of these different timelines. This is the 4-hour, but even if you look on the daily, you could see that the inflow of capital into the crypto markets has in fact subsided, right? There is not as much exuberance. There's not as, much information really. There's not as much tweeting. You're not really hearing about people talking about Bitcoin. I mean, I guess Elon Musk is tweeting, but for the most part, essentially, it's kind of what we expected. And we knew after a dump like this, there was going to be that accumulation. There was going to be that sideways, boring, even downwards pattern. And as I told you guys in my video from a week ago, this was what I was expecting. I was expecting nothing phenomenal for the conference. In fact, just like we saw in 2018, these are often buy the rumor, sell the news events. Everybody thought the conference, we were going to see the price pump. I honestly didn't think that was going to happen because realistically, the price is not really driven by these fundamental things. In fact, you'll notice that in a bull market, there's no amount of bad news that can shake the price. However, in a bear market, which we are going to talk about whether or not we are entering a bear market right now, you'll notice that there is no amount of good news that can keep the price from falling, right? And as we can see, we have an Elon Musk tweet, price dumps 8%. We have Latin American countries looking to put it, on their country's reserves. Really don't see anything. So these are the indications of either the beginning of a bear market or an extensive consolidation pattern. So there is good news if you're a trader, and there's even better news if you're a hodler. We'll get to that in a second. But as you can see right here, we had this resistance flipping support. We fell below that. We fell below this support as well. And we are in the blue zone territory that we had marked out. Now this, and I'm not trying to scare you guys, this could potentially, be looking for some lower levels for Bitcoin. Now, I am expecting there to be a rebound. I do think we are going to come up at least to try to touch some of either these moving averages or some of these downward sloping resistances, with the first one clearly being the $42,000 level. I do believe we are going to see a $42,000 Bitcoin even this month, potentially. I do expect a reversal. In fact, if we actually come over here and have a look at the CME futures chart, we obviously still have a gap, believe it or not, all the way up here. And the other thing as well is that we are having a little bit of this momentum waves, start to put in the full anchor wave leading into the trigger wave. You guys know that there is often a bounce based off of these moves, but overall, and this is on the daily, and what I want you to pay attention to the most is, we've been sitting, if you look right here, in all of this green, and this is all money flow, right? This is money coming into the space. This is exuberance. This is people buying. And you could see that just recently, obviously we have a little X manipulation wick right here, but we've also come down into this red, showing that there is that lack of interest. There is money not necessarily flowing out of Bitcoin, but there's just not as much interest flowing in. Now, I do want to discuss the fact that there could be OTC trades happening in the background, and I think there is. In fact, I think that we are having massive accumulation the same way that we had this Wyckoff distribution, which we'll go over in a little bit. I do believe that down here we are seeing the accumulations as well. We also have some evidence proving to that. But the reality is, we got very far off the mean. I mean, if you just have a look right here, look at this trend that we had been following ever since March 15th. It's almost ridiculous to look at it. You almost have to put it into a logarithmic scale, which I will in a second, but then it's going to change my trend line. Yeah, it did. But you can see right here, we were essentially trending upwards right here. And actually, I don't know what this looks like on the log. Let me actually take that from the bottom here. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that it's kind of acting as resistance, but the point that I'm trying to make is we got very far off the mean. We do need to come back to reality. We need to come back to earth. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear that the price is going to go down. They don't want to hear that the price is going to go sideways, but we have had some incredible markets. We have had insane run-ups. Let's not forget that literally at the bottom right here, when we had the COVID scare, Bitcoin hit all the way down to, the $3,000 level. Bitcoin is still sitting up about 9.5 to 10x from these levels. There is absolutely nothing bearish about the long-term price action of Bitcoin, but short-term, it can be a little bit scary. So it wouldn't be out of the cards to even see Bitcoin come down here and retest somewhere on this trend line right here. And could we go back down to $20,000? It is actually possible, right, to retest the previous all-time high. We have seen that before. Now, it did seem quite unlikely when we had the trend going upwards. Now, the trend is your friend until the end, but we have to be honest with ourselves. We don't have the short-term uptrend anymore. We do have a long-term uptrend. So as long as we don't break this trend right here, which it's obviously in log, which is interesting how it actually touches this 200 daily right here, which is probably just a coincidence. I wouldn't take that too seriously. But you can see if I do take it at a log, I mean, have a look at this right here. Really have a look at how far we got off of this, right? We were just bouncing off it, just moving up very nicely. And then boom, we just had this massive, insane run up. And the markets do need that time to cool off. Now, obviously, as you can tell, I'm not panicking. For me, this is just another day in Bitcoin, right? And if you believe in Bitcoin, if you're a dollar cost averager, if you're a hodler, this isn't an issue. Now, some people say, well, why am I going to hodl all the way back down to some of these levels? That's a good question. And if that's the case, then you may be a little overextended, you know? You have to be ready to deal with the ups and the downs. I mean, guys, this is a little bit of a tangent. I know I usually don't do this, but just to put things into perspective, okay? During the bear market of 2018, I literally was taking every single paycheck, every dollar I had, and I was buying Bitcoin. My house went into foreclosure. I was riding a bicycle. I sold my car, okay? And I struggled for 2 years, right? Because at that time, I wasn't as good of a trader as I am right now. You know, and you have seen a lot of people getting wrecked, obviously, because these are pretty choppy markets. So as a hodler, that was what I had to do. And to be totally honest, it absolutely paid off. But if that's not something that you're comfortable doing, or if you have children, or you really do need to pay your bills, or you need to, pay for transportation, whatever it is, then you really shouldn't be overextended into these markets. However, that being said, my personal opinion, for what it's worth, these types of levels are absolutely amazing. I mean, the fact that you're able to buy Bitcoin for prices all the way back at the beginning of the year, essentially it's like the entire year has been wiped off the face of the Bitcoin price action, right? So for a lot of you who may have gotten recently, maybe you did buy at the top, this is an excellent opportunity for dollar cost averaging. We know the logarithmic scale of Bitcoin. We know the halving is built into the mechanism. We know that it is deflationary. And, there have been some people that are a little bit concerned about the stock to flow. I'll get to that in a minute. But if you want to know what I'm doing right now, cut and dry, essentially, I am just going with the flow of the markets. Now, as you know, I don't like to short Bitcoin. It is not one of my favorite things to do. I feel like I'm betting against the greatest asset that the world has ever seen. However, unfortunately, right now, trying to long the bounces is very risky until we can get back above some of these levels. We need to at least put in a higher high back above around 39,000 to 40, preferably getting back above $42,000. Until we do that, we are simply putting in lower highs and potentially even more lower lows. So the strategy, if you're not going to dollar cost average, which I do recommend is the number one strategy, then I would personally be looking to short the resistances. I know that's not something that I want to say we should be doing, but that really is sort of the strategy until we have the trend reversal. So I've actually been doing some very small scalp trades, to be honest. They're absolutely nothing to brag about, guys, but I have been shorting the bounces down. Now, it's not betting against Bitcoin. In fact, I'm not even holding it in USDT. I am trying to accumulate more Bitcoin at these prices. However, the price tends to fall a lot faster in downtrends. You can make a lot more money a lot faster trading by actually shorting the resistances, okay? But if you are not an experienced trader, I just recommend hodling, dollar cost averaging, not financial advice. But if you are looking to trade this, make sure that you guys actually head on over. They are doing the PT Arena on Femex, obviously for experienced traders only. You guys, there's lots of prizes. You can join these different groups over here. I actually do not, I don't have these types of trading competitions. I don't really do signals on this channel. It's not my thing, guys. I want to help you to become more educated, you to become a better trader. But if you are interested, they do have a prize pool that depends on the signups. If you can actually get up to over 10,000, you could be looking at $750,000 in rewards. If you are interested in learning how to trade, definitely check out my tutorial popping up above. And if it is your first time and you're a beginner, make sure you use a demo account, a paper account, trade with fake money first until you can get comfortable. But like I said, at this point, you're probably better off just dollar cost averaging. But let's get back to the charts, okay? Because I don't want to talk about trading. That's just what I'm doing right now. There's really not much else you could do except just trade the chop. But if we actually zoom out and we have a look right here, it's very, very obvious. And this is the Heiken Ashi chart. I like these candles because they show the flows of the market. You know, it really gives you a nice perspective of where the markets are going. It has a nice fluid look to it. And you can see right here, this was a lot of the accumulation period down here. And we were bouncing very, it's pretty obvious we were bouncing between these two areas, right? As soon as we got off of this area, we had some resistance right here. We came up, we bounced off it once, we bounced off it twice, we went to the moon, we came back down, and we have bounced off it yet again. So I am looking right here at this trend line to provide that support. Now, this does show the fact that, yes, we could even go down to around that $28,000 level again. If that, which, by the way, I'm just going to be totally honest, I don't actually expect that Bitcoin is just going to come all the way down here and break down. I really don't expect that. In fact, what I do think is going to happen is either within the range that we're in right now or coming down right here. As you can see right here, the markets move in ebbs, it ebbs and flows, right? It goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it goes down. It comes in waves. We had this massive wave right here. We're coming down to retest some of this extremely critical area. I do expect a minimal, at least a retest of this $42,000 level before coming down again. Or, to be honest, I actually think we're going to come more somewhere up to this level, where you can see we have a lot of candle bodies, a lot of interest right here. And I do think that we may even have something more, something like this, okay? But then I would be getting concerned, especially around that $55,000 level. If we do put in another lower high on the macro scale, on the weekly, and then we do start to come down again, then I'm going to be pretty 100% sure that we are definitely in bear market territory. Bitcoin bear market territory, obviously traditional. We're already in a bear market. We're below the 200 moving average, but Bitcoin doesn't really play by the traditional rules. So, if we do have another lower high on this weekly right here after having a run up, then yes, I would be looking for probably a bit of a prolonged bear market. But yeah, obviously I don't know. We have a lot of weeks until we get to that point. Worst case scenario, if we do have the breakdown, then yes, I do think we're going to come down here, and I think we're going to retest one of these levels down here, and that could bring Bitcoin down to even 18,000. Now, all right, look, when I say 18,000, I don't think we're going to hang out there. It's probably just going to be a quick wick. I don't really imagine Bitcoin's going to stay down by 20 for too long, but that's what I'm looking at. And you're probably saying, okay, K-Dub, it's going to go up or it's going to go down. Well, yeah, guys, at this point, I'm just trading the market. I'm just trading the flow. I'm paying attention to the money flow. I'm paying attention to the momentum waves, and I'm seeing whether or not we actually put in the lower high on the macro. Until then, we're really just guessing. We don't have anything really confirmed. We've gone up massively from about 10,000 to 65, and we've dumped down 50%. That's about all we have. We're still up on the macro, right? But we are down on the daily. That's what's happening right now. But there is a lot of news. There's a lot of FUD. It says we've lost $200 billion in just the past 24 hours. Could this be the Elon Musk effect? You can see over here, wrecked capital points, when things are bullish, it's pumping. When things are bearish, it's dumping. There is a little bit of a conspiracy theory about the way that his tweets come out. We were actually talking about this. I was talking about this with some friends at the conference. I don't know if there's somebody feeding Elon Musk this information or if he's just an absolute mastermind when it comes to when to tweet. He does seem to tweet at very critical levels. We were hitting an important resistance on the triangle. Elon tweeted the FUD meme, price dumped. Was it because of Elon? Not really. I think we were going to have that dump anyway. But, people need a reason, right? Retail investors want to know why. Why is my price dumping? Why am I losing value in my portfolio? Well, you can blame it on Elon, but look, here's the thing, guys. If we have a look at some of these, FUDs that we've had, Elon Fed, Trump, China, India ban, the attack, the COVID dump, also the bottom of this, you could see that we do move in and out of the stock to flow. We go out, we've broken out of the top of it multiple times. You could see, and when we do break out, we break out. We really didn't even have a full-on breakout of the stock to flow model. In fact, we've sort of, if you take the averages between where we were on the top and where we were at the bottom, we're really just kind of where we're supposed to be, right? So it would be possible that we can fall out again. Do I think the stock to flow model is broken? Absolutely not. This is exactly what Bitcoin does. This is not a definitive absolute dollar amount. Bitcoin doesn't absolutely have to be 25,000 on this day, 50,000 on this day. This is a long-term logarithmic growth chart, and you could see that Bitcoin has respectively stayed within this for its entirety of the 12 years that it's been in existence. So I do not believe that the flow is broken, and I actually don't believe that this cycle's top is in. I'm still anticipating minimally $100,000 Bitcoin to a $250,000 Bitcoin. But as I told you guys in my video a week ago, if price action continues with the structure that we're in right now, we're going to enter a mini bear market, something like we saw back here in 2013, right? So we had this peak right here back in 2011, price came down, and then we had this pump, but we did have this fake out. So this is the equivalent of like the 20K level right here going to the 65K level. Had that dump, we were in a mini bear market, but then we ended up pumping all the way up to $1,000 anyway, where then we entered the prolonged bear cycle. And I think we're doing something very similar right here. So it could get quite boring, right? And that's exactly what these whales want. They want to bore you. They want you to forget about Bitcoin. They want you to sell your Bitcoin. They want you to get spooked. They want you to get scared, right? But we know that long-term hodling, if that's your thing, has always been the way to go. And it has always proven to be profitable. Even if you're watching right now, let's say you bought Bitcoin at $65,000. Yeah, you know, in dollar value, you're down right now. But your Bitcoin value is still your Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is always one Bitcoin. And we know that Bitcoin is the honey badger. And long term, it doesn't care. It's the Lindy effect, guys. You can't fight numbers. Look, the longer something has done something, the longer it will probably continue to do that thing. So until Bitcoin breaks this logarithmic chart, does something absolutely crazy, falls to levels never seen before, this is just how it goes. 1,000% pumps, 85% drawbacks. Welcome to Bitcoin, my friends. But long-term hodlers have always been rewarded. Now, some of the FUD that has apparently been crashing the market, we have Donald Trump saying Bitcoin seems like a scam. He says, I don't like it because it's another currency competing against the dollar. I want the dollar to be the currency of the world. That's what I've always said. Well, interestingly enough, if we actually have a look at the US dollar, the DYX right now, it's actually at its lowest levels since the beginning of 2018. So the dollar is not performing really very well, right? So it's a very interesting time period. We have the dollar falling. We have Bitcoin falling. That usually doesn't happen. So this is why people are saying there is some manipulation potentially taking place in the background. Now, manipulation, I don't know, guys. When the price is going up, to the moon, right? When the price is going down, manipulation. At the end of the day, this is just markets, right? You have big whales, you have high net worth individuals, you have OTC traders. They take advantage of these price moves. And I believe right now, in my honest opinion, for whatever it's worth, you know, I'm just a guy on the internet, I do think that they're looking at this chart right now. Yes, we could have a rebound, but what do you guys think is more likely? What do you honestly think long-term is more likely for the dollar? I think with all of this inflation, you know, we have Biden coming out with these potentially more stimulus, more airdrops, more helicopter money. I just don't see things looking great for the dollar long term. We're also seeing a lot of bubbles right now, right? They're saying the stock markets could potentially be in a bubble. Real estate is 100% in a bubble. I will tell you this from a family who owns a lot of real estate. Now is not really the greatest time to be buying real estate. It's kind of the time to be selling. There is a massive correction coming. It's going to be happening to all of the markets, whether it be Bitcoin, whether it be stocks, whether it be real estate. You know, although summer is coming, so gas prices are probably going to rise. You know, that's always a guarantee. But you can also see there was that fear about U.S. law enforcement hacking the Bitcoin network. Well, we know that this just isn't true. Following the news, the Department of Justice had recouped Bitcoin in the Colonial Pipeline ransomware the ransomware investigation. And, you know, like Adam Back said, it wasn't hacked. No Bitcoin wallet was hacked, nor is it even known to be possible. Ransom hackers use a rented cloud server. FBI got a subpoena, took control of it, and recovered the coins. That's it. Although this does seem a little bit suspicious to me. I don't want to be that guy to put the tinfoil hat on, but realistically speaking, if you're really that intelligent of a hacker, You'd think you'd be a little bit more intelligent on where to store your Bitcoin. What do I know, guys? I'm not going to speculate on this either way. You guys let me know what you think about that. But at the end of the day, if you really want an answer, what is going on right now? We have had an insane rally. We went from $3,000 to $65,000. We had a lot of institutions starting to buy at 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 33,000. Tesla came in. We had MicroStrategy buying up all the way. And we saw, shout out once again to Uncomplication. I'm sure you've seen this video by now. He's had over 871,000 views. You know, this was textbook Wyckoff distribution. Now, I am not a really traditional, I don't really look at Wyckoff. Probably should start looking at it now. I'm not really an Elliott wave trader. I prefer just sort of looking at the levels. I like looking at the volume range. I like looking at the trend lines. I like looking at the money flow. That's my style of trading. But he makes a good point, okay? And this design, this whole pattern right here is essentially to keep pushing up price, keep getting people excited, as they sell OTC. And this was something we were suspicious about. I can't prove it. I have no evidence. There's no way to track the OTC deals, but it's obvious now in hindsight that a lot of these guys that got in were selling off their Bitcoin in the back while keeping the retail excited, pushing the price up, and now they're looking to push the price down. However, if you honestly think that this is a one-trick pony and they're only looking to do this once and that's it, that was a fun ride for Bitcoin, guys. Absolutely not. You are seeing insane, first of all, you're seeing Bitcoin being withdrawn off exchanges again, which is showing that there is accumulation at these levels. Really not much else we can go off except for on-chain data. Obviously, unless you can actually get a hold of Caleb and Brown and ask them how much OTC is happening in the back. We're just speculating, but I can tell you that there is Bitcoin being moved to long-term addresses. These guys are looking to hold for long-term. The short-term speculators, they cashed out. The long-term hodlers are there. And you got to ask yourself, when you're selling your Bitcoin, who are you selling it to? Now, talking about the dollar falling, I know I got a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff to go over. I haven't made a video in a week. We have Latin American politicians in Argentina, Brazil, Panama, and Paraguay have taken to social media to show support for Bitcoin. Some of these guys even putting the laser eye meme right on their eyes. The post follows El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele's announcement. I hope I said that name right, that he has hopes of making Bitcoin legal tender. Panama's Gabriel Silva said that he would be preparing a proposal to support cryptocurrencies, while Paraguay is expected to announce a project involving Bitcoin and PayPal imminently. This is huge, guys. The fundamentals are there. Don't worry about the daily charts. If you are invested with more than you can afford to lose, well, then that's something maybe you should consider. You need to have a strategy for investing. For me, I don't mind holding Bitcoin long term. I believe in Bitcoin. I have believed in Bitcoin since I started buying in 2017. I don't really sell my Bitcoin very often unless I just need to pay for things. I really believe that it will outperform all of these assets long term. And I think you're seeing that reflected in these nations, putting it on the balance sheets, etc. And you have to remember that technologies do not happen overnight. Bitcoin has only been around for 12 years. And let's be honest, a lot of people really haven't even given any even attention to it until just the past few years, right? The past 3 or 4 years. Think about how long it takes, companies like Apple, or even just how long it took motorized vehicles or Netflix or Uber or any new technology to catch on. These are not things that happen overnight. Slowly, surely, and then inevitably. And if you're here for the long run, then there's nothing to be worried about. Like Kevin O'Leary even said, he was at the conference and he was talking to Crypto Potato. He said, I don't care if it goes to 20,000 at all. I'm not selling. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. And this is a guy that used to, talk a lot of smack about it. He said, I'm in it for the long run. He said, and in response to Elon Musk, he said ECG is not going away. Elon was pressured, I believe, by his shareholders of Tesla to speak about this because they live with sustainability committees and they're not on the side with Bitcoin being used as a currency to buy Tesla cars. And so they probably pressured him to make the statements he made. When asked if he was worried that one tweet can impact the price more than 10%, which although it kind of does, the problem is there's, FUD, price is falling. Elon Musk doesn't help. I don't think he single-handedly is the reason the price dumped, but he says, I don't care who tweets. I made my binary decision to own Bitcoin. Now I have decided what allocation. For me, that is 3%. What happens after that? I don't care. And if it's going to be volatile because of Elon Musk tweets or somebody else's tweets, go ahead. So essentially, guys, that's where I want to end the video today. Also, just side note, we do have Polkadot and Kusama creator Gavin Wood saying that parachain auctions are going to start on June 15th. This is something that we've been waiting for quite a long time, so I just want to kind of throw that in at the end. That is good news for Polkadot. But getting back to Bitcoin, yes, we have broken some serious structures. Yes, we do have this box territory down here. I am keeping my eyes on these waves. I'm not seeing anything down here just yet. Even if I move to the daily, let me actually get all this crap out of the way. Actually, to be honest with you guys, the daily looks like it could be putting in a bit of a trigger wave right here. We don't have confirmation on that, but who knows? Maybe sometime this week we could be looking for that reversal. Keep your eyes on it. That could be an opportunity to long. But, I'm not going to jump into that just yet. Don't rush anything. Don't trade the chop. It's all right, guys. Take your time, relax. And if you're not comfortable with trading, don't trade right now. Dollar cost average, HODL. Be safe out there, guys. And of course, if you are interested, you can check out the tutorials. I do have Bybit as well popping up above. That is my preferred platform for trading Bitcoin. I like it. I'm comfortable with it. But you may have a different preference. But at the end of the day, guys, if you're not comfortable, don't trade. HODLing has always worked long term. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. I'm not worried. I just think what we're seeing is some actual accumulation at these levels. We could go into something like we saw back in 2013, maybe like a mini little bear, could last 3 to 6 months or something like that. I still am anticipating a massive rebound. I do think Bitcoin is going to hit $42,000 again. I think there's a potential we can even go up as high as 55 after that. We got to see how it plays out, guys. But that's where we are in the cycle. No Bitcoin bear here. You guys rock. I love you. If I don't make videos every day, I got a lot going on right now. We're doing a lot of renovation at the house, but I do love you guys. Stick it out. And of course, if you haven't seen these videos right here, right now, check them out right now. And until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.